like to call this meeting to order. San Juan Economic Development at 6:03 p.m. May we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Pedro Juan, Arce Torres, Neto Guajardo,
Marco Villegas.
Vives García.
Jesse Ramirez.
Armando Garcia Jr. For the record.
Alisa Alemán, legal counsel.
Sorry, I had
And our legal. Okay. Any public comment, Marta? There was no public comments?
No public comments.
Okay. Mr. Arjona, Director's
Yes,
report?
on Director's report, as you remember, the last meeting we had Mr. Tyler, but we had a bad communication on the internet, through the internet. So he's here with us to present the Placer.ai, like I mentioned at the last meeting. It's a platform that allows for analytics as far as businesses that may be interested or that we may be looking into coming to the city. With this particular software, unlike the other one that we had, the Buxton software, you recall, this one actually gives you a gauge as to where or how they're performing somebody was to be here within the city. But Mr. Tyler is there with us to present us that the platform that he has to offer. So, Mr. Tyler, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, thank you. Thanks for giving me the floor here. Just confirming last time we walked out. Around like 5 to 10 minutes when I have allotted.
Okay.
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. So I will share my screen here. Just give me 1 second. So you can see this deck with the presentation, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'll put this in the slideshow view here. So essentially, and thanks for joining here today, what I'll be walking through is basically an introduction of Placer, who we are, what we do, how other civic organizations within your area as well are utilizing our data. Then I'll go into some sample reports of what we do offer, and then kind of highlight the subscription details and everything else at the end. So essentially, to walk you through it, kind of give you an introduction, Placer, we're a location analytics platform. Simply put, we just leverage mobile location data to learn about any physical location within the country, whether that's a downtown area, individual retailer, a shopping center, an event, really any polygon shape that you want to identify. We can geofence it, tell you how many people went there, where they're coming from, how far they're traveling, their demographics, psychographics, and really so much more. We've been on the market for about 4 years now. In that time frame, we became the leading data provider for over 1,000 civic clients across the country. Cities, counties, EDOs, DMOs, chambers of commerce, really anything under the sun, you name it, we're working with them. And we actually work with over 130 within Texas. Surprisingly, Texas is our #1 state, just by sheer numbers. And some of the local clients that we do work with, on the bottom there you can see the city of Brownsville, San Benito, Mercedes, Westlake, Alamo EDC, the city of Elsa, as well as Harlingen Economic Development. And you can see right there, that's actually been updated from the last time I put this together, just a testament to our rapid growth within the space. There's certainly a major reason for our success, right? There are, certainly other location providers out there, but what really separates us and differentiates us from the competition is that we provide essentially, first and foremost, the most accurate data available. So at the end of the day, we're getting all of our information from about 30 million mobile devices that we have access to. We're monitoring the location services essentially 24/7, 365, understanding the movements, things like that. It's only about 10% of the U.S. population, but certainly statistically significant. Helps us yield the high level of accuracy that we pride ourselves on. Across the board, we see about 96 and 98%. And the second component is that we're basically not collecting any identifiable information. So names, addresses, phone numbers of the devices that we monitor, we're not collecting. Really just primarily allows us to stay ahead of the curve with major privacy changes with like iOS, Android, California, for instance, right? Very strict privacy laws. And we haven't been affected by anything within, the marketplace, new laws, things like that, within 7 years of being on the market now. And this is just kind of tying everything together, our data differentiators, as well as just a kind of example of our broad coverage across the country, as well as the sample kind of data validation with Best Buy that we did. We compared their in-store store counters to our foot traffic information, and it was around 97.5% accurate. And here today, these are kind of the top 9 ways how civic leaders are using placer data on a daily basis. So you can see, really a plethora of kind of needs. Really, primarily speaking of if you were to be like a city manager or, a city administrator, you could think, all these things are kind of falling under their hat. From retail recruitment to analyzing events, to using the data to, apply for grants, to have more new initiatives, developments downtown, right? So these are the top 9 use cases right here that we typically see. We work with economic development teams, parks and rec, marketing teams, public works, civil engineering, planning, development, really any type of title that you can think of within the municipal space. So here is kind of a glimpse into the placer data and what we can provide. So basically what I did before this call was geofence the entire downtown San Juan area and took a look at the data over the last 6 months. So what we're seeing here actually is that about 738,000 unique visitors went into downtown San Juan, and they accounted for about 5.3 million total visits. You can see below there kind of the visit trends, actually the daily aggregation foot traffic. We can pinpoint data going back all the way to January 1st of 2017, and we have data as recent as just a 3-day lag time. So any event that's downtown, just think 3 days after, you can know exactly how many people came, what was the economic impact, all those sort of things. And we also know that there's a direct correlation between foot traffic generated and sales tax. So you can essentially use this as a forecasting tool to understand, certain areas around downtown, the entire downtown itself, how are we going to be performing over the coming months here. We can also tell you where visitors are coming from. So you can see on the left there, basically a heat map depicting the home locations of all the visitors who went to downtown San Juan at least one time over the 6 months that we were analyzing. We just have US data, as you can see there, kind of a distinct cutoff at the border. But you can also see kind of some information right there, like how far people are traveling. So you can see the majority of visitors, just around 20%, traveling between 1 and 2 miles from their home location. So telling us the majority of visitors are going to be locals, things like that. We can also tell you, basically, what favorite chains visitors or residents have in any area. So you're seeing right here, basically the top chains ranked across a number of categories. You see, Walmart, Head Grocer, Whataburger, so across a number of categories. But we're able to break this down by anything. So if you want to know what are the top grocery stores that our residents are shopping at, well, we can tell you that. What are the top, gyms that they're going to? We can tell you that as well. You could also do this for any comparison or any location around the country. And maybe another comparable, border town that you see yourselves as comparable to. You can take a look at what are their kind of tenant mix, where are their residents shopping, how can we kind of improve our mix here. We also have the ability through a number of data sets that we have to apply, or basically conduct any type of analysis on an area. So this is just one example, primarily focusing on retail development. Basically what we're doing is analyzing, as you can see here on the left, around 5 miles from downtown San Juan, and understanding all of the retail offerings within that 5-mile range. So you can see that up there in the top right with the overview. So about 3.8 billion in total demand, but the supply is only about 2.3 billion. So there's a huge gap there. About 33% of the market could be met with new retailers of the types that you see below there. I tried to pick kind of a mixed bag of results here. There's about 30 different categories that we have that you can go into. See grocery stores, full service restaurants, so that's like a category. We also have business or kind of product types, so it can help you maybe find a small business or a niche business that would be a good fit for maybe a smaller tenant downtown. But you can see here for grocery stores, the demand's about 338 million, the supply is only about 206. So there's a huge unmet demand there that would basically tell you that a new grocer could move into this area and it would fit the kind of the market. There wouldn't be a lot of competition. It would make sense economically. You can also see that there for full service restaurants. One distinction I'd like to highlight though is if you can see for the unmet demand for restaurants, it's a lot smaller than the one for grocery stores in just numerical value and percentage wise. That can basically tell you that for instance when we're looking at grocery stores, there's a huge gap within the market. You could maybe meet that with just one major flagship grocer. But if you take a look at restaurants, the gap is smaller. So maybe a smaller restaurant, maybe one chain that isn't that expansive or something like that. And then finally, you can see there with building material, there's a negative unmet demand. So that tells you that there's an oversaturation of that type, that you wouldn't want to recruit them if that makes sense. This is just a glimpse into how we can help with retail recruitment. Obviously just one of the kind of use cases that I showcased in the beginning. Can also tell you for any vacancy, who would your ideal tenant be? We can provide you with contact information to go to real estate developers, leasing agents of these companies, and present the information to make, downtown San Juan favorable in whatever way you want. So right here, just getting into the subscription details and kind of what's associated with the platform and everything. So I realize your eyes are probably going to all go over to the left side there with the 12-month subscription price. But what's included? You can take a look at any location within the country. So not just downtown San Juan. If you were to compare yourselves to maybe a different community in, I don't know, maybe Arizona or California, you could take a look at that. Unlimited amount of POIs as well. So you can take a look at as many businesses as you want, as many events, as many custom polygon shapes that you want to as well. And you'll also get access to our customer success team, which is basically a white glove service that you'll have throughout the duration of any subscription. They'll make sure that you get the largest ROI out of any kind of investment that you have with the platform. Really like to say they're quasi-consultants that will be walking you through everything. And there's no implementation costs associated at all with the platform. Everything you saw here today is easily accessible through a web browser or our mobile app actually, which recently dropped last month. So that's everything I wanted to go through here today. We also have as well here kind of the structuring options as well. So thank you for your time, and I just thought now would be a good time to stop the screen share and maybe just open up the floor to any questions that anyone may have.
Guys, questions?
So I guess I'm sold on the idea and the concept. I think it's extremely helpful when we're starting to make decisions, not making them guessing or hoping or wishing. We're looking at actual numbers. And so I guess, maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I am interested in what would be a deliverable, for example, that we would receive, and how much would that cost? And I guess what's the pricing and what's the deliverable?
Gotcha. So in terms of the pricing, it would just be that the 26,000 number that was kind of outlined on the structuring there. It's a 12-month agreement. So that's kind of the upfront cost. There's nothing in terms of like kind of a project use base or anything like that. It is a 12-month agreement. And in terms of deliverables, I mean, we will from day one train you, any employee as well that's going to be a user of the platform, give you materials to consume on yourself as well, or set up kind of weekly cadences to train you in everything. And then, like I alluded to there, we'll work with you directly to recruit retailers to certain areas, right? Do a site selection analysis on a downtown area, present data for you to bring to those potential retailers to, make the case for you to move in. Also, we've seen, just simple things like, if we're analyzing a park or open space, you can use our data to understand when are the optimal times when people are utilizing these areas, when are kind of the lower ends of the spectrum there, and then you can use that to, just something as simple as informing maintenance strategies. So there's a bunch of ways that you can, consume the data directly and apply that, to day-to-day decisions. But there's also ways that you can, kind of consume it a little, at a slower pace. Use our, team to kind of help you, basically, implement that into any projects that you have, strategic initiatives, all that sort of stuff. And something that point as well. I mean, they'll sit in on a kind of a board presentation like this. Take notes, understand your kind of pain points, what you're looking for, and relate that back to the platform at the end of the day.
So I guess at the end of the day, we would have to train somebody in-house to be able to use, and then I'm assuming it's a web-based program.
Yeah, web-based.
And
Everything
then
web-based.
from that, our staff would generate reports that we would then be able to use. My only concern with that is sometimes, we start getting overloaded with information. And so how would we be able to, I guess, get to an executive type summary? Would you help our staff create that?
Yeah, so basically we could have it set up where if you never wanted to go into the platform, right? If you just wanted to have kind of weekly, monthly emails sent to your inbox surrounding around key properties, focusing on key metrics as well, we could have that cadence set up. So there's ways to kind of automate it, to focus on around certain areas where you just get, kind of the data that's relevant to you delivered on a, weekly, bi-weekly basis, whatever it is.
So we basically have it on a cart. In other words, whatever we need at any moment, we'd be able to access it, correct?
Yeah, fully white glove service, yeah.
We used to have before another, a couple of years ago, and I know it was much the cost was more, but at the beginning of it, it was it painted a pretty picture stuff, but we didn't have any follow through with it at all. From my understanding, you're saying here that we'd have the support and somebody here and maybe even taking notes and getting to know our community, and we'd have someone on hand compared to the last one. Is that correct? Yeah, the last one,
Maybe-
they kind of left us, we bought the program, we had it, and the program might have been good, but it didn't really go anywhere from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last thing I would want to do is just throw data at you, right? I think honestly, like 50% of the value you get from any data that you're kind of purchasing, right, is if you're able to actually get actionable information out of it and use it. So we make sure that that's going to be kind of the main thing that we pride ourselves on is making sure that people are actually utilizing our data. And at the end of the day, I mean, we have about a 98% renewal rate. So it's not like people are just signing up, seeing it's not for them, and then kicking it to the curb. They're renewing with us year after year.
I think the more you use it, the better we're gonna be at it. So we had, when I met with Mr. Tyler, maybe about 3 weeks ago, one of the things was I wanted to see how well a shopping center would fit here in San Juan, the one that we've been discussing, talking about. And he read the numbers, and it's not a good fit for the city, for the city of San Juan. It doesn't work. So what I'm trying to say with this is that a lot of times somebody may want to come over and we're sold on it just because it's a retail place or that is coming over. But we don't have those data, we don't have them in front of us. They're gonna tell us, yeah, incentivize us, give us a 380, whatever the case may be, this is gonna be your ROI. But we're trusting these people that that's what the case is gonna be. With this software, you actually get to see it for yourself. What's the return on investment? Who's gonna be there? What's gonna be the visitors? Is there anyone here within the vicinity, maybe a 3-mile radius, 5-mile radius? Is it cannibalization or is it not? So this software, the way I saw it, it pulls all of those little points, everything to see, is it a good fit for the city or is it not a good fit for the city? If Dunkin' Donuts is gonna work with this software, it'll help us. More than likely, this is similar to what all of the people use. But to the point of actually us doing it and running the numbers, it shows you exactly who's gonna be coming to the city based on the data, based on other cities. And you can compare other cities. Who's going to this particular business? What's going to happen if we open it here in San Juan versus what's going to happen to the city of Juan, what's going to happen to the city of Edinburgh? Are we going to take away some of these customers? More than likely it's going to. But obviously some of these businesses, they have a radius on it that if you're within that certain amount of miles, obviously it's not going to work. So this is what it's going to show us, yes or no. Yes, it's going to work. So now that we're developing all of this I-8 interstate, this is where we actually can come back and sit with a developer and say, this is the business that I want because we know that it's going to work. There's other platforms, but what I saw here with this software is it's cool. It's a piece of software. It doesn't only run the what do you call the vehicle count, whatever you call it. It shows more into detail that the other one wouldn't provide.
That's what I was wondering, because it's like the vehicle count isn't really gonna help us.
Everybody has
We
it.
need to analyze the entire,
Right.
the radius outside, 50 miles,
We
75
came
miles.
to find out that
whatever
all
it
those
is.
vehicle counts, we could just pick up the phone and call precinct or maybe the text them, and they
Yeah.
have them ready for us.
It's gonna reroute people depending on the business we set up in a
Right.
particular location.
And I think that's important too, like, just having the data isn't enough.
Right.
You need to have some sort of analysis. What does it matter? There's 100 cars. If they're not stopping, it didn't matter that they passed by. But if they're stopping, then it makes sense. And it also will help us, I think, focus more on, certain types of businesses and not waste our time on other types of
Other
businesses.
businesses. And the data that he showed us, the 780-some visitors is pretty much in target. Because we know that there's about 1.5 million coming to the city of San Juan, and that's in the last 6 months. And this is data that he geofenced within the city.
I like that concept because it's giving us a wider range of what it is that we need to look at.
Right.
And what's gonna be beneficial for the city, not just
Right.
isolated numbers, but vast numbers.
And you're right, and it's understanding what Mr. Juan is saying, because we need to understand that all this, like some of the stores that came out on that slide, it's like, we have to drive all the way to Westlaco 13 miles, or we have to drive over 9 miles, almost 10 to, like for instance, in the business of Target. It's 10 miles to McAllen, and it's 13 miles to Westlaco. So it's still too far to go over there. So, I mean, it is the program that shows us a lot better that on the people that, you know, we might be able to hold them here. For instance, an example on the restaurants. Chili's, Olive Garden, every day, it's just like
Okay.
this. You know?
To your point, that's something we can exactly do, a leakage analysis of San Juan. We could just focus on residents, understand where they're going out to shop at, and give you a list of them.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, as far as the online support, you said that there's online support available in case we have real-time questions. There's like a support number, so what are your hours of operation for the online support? And the reason I ask that is because like today, for example, we're running a meeting here right at 6:30 in the evening, and most of the time we do our homework and we have our investors and we have our businesses that come in, and we've done our homework, they've done their homework, but let's say we wanted to pick up the phone and get, you know what, let's call you guys and let's get a real-time analysis on numbers. Is that something, are you guys staffed in the evening also?
Yeah, so they're named individuals, like they're actual people. It's not like a chatbot or anything like that. So what I will say is they'll probably, the ones that you'll get assigned to, right, would probably be within your region, probably within Texas as well. So it would be operating kind of on similar time zones. So anything within working hours, they would definitely be prompt with responding. Outside of working hours, I obviously wouldn't want to give an overcommitment to their time. However, if you were to let them know, like, you know, on Tuesdays, you know, once a month at, 6 o'clock, we have this board presentation, can you hop on for that? They would certainly make it.
How quickly could we get, say we were to approve this, how quickly could we get started? Are we looking like within the next week we'll get ready for training and processing, or?
Yeah, so it's quick turnaround, kind of, and I didn't send this over to Ben or anything like that, but it's a kind of very simple 4-page like SaaS agreement. Obviously, you guys would, look over that with your legal team and everything. If you have any questions, you can just go back to our team. But after all that, and once the agreement's signed on both sides, right then and there, you get an automated email from our customer success team with kind of your account provisioning with your initial login, and you'll get a welcome email to set up your first initial kickoff call. Sometimes that could be scheduled the day of, the day after, but usually kind of people like to schedule that like 3 days, 4 days just to make it work for their schedule. But yeah, we can get going the very next day if you wanted to.
I'm sure a tool like this will help a realtor that's,
Some of the,
the information, okay?
So Ben, it doesn't say action,
No,
so
I
I
guess
guess we can't take action.
what I was gonna say is, Tyler, if you could please send us that agreement, and then, depending on how the board wants to move, we can place on the next, agenda as an action item.
Okay, sounds good. I'll get that over to you. I'll send over an email, and then do you mind if I just kind of give you a shout as well? Maybe we can just chat for like 5-10 minutes tomorrow, Ben?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, awesome. Well, I will get that over, and thanks for giving me the floor here today. Hope it was insightful for everyone, and hopefully we'll be working together soon.
So another question, are you gonna be at the ICSC come May?
The one in Vegas?
Yes.
I personally won't be there, but our team will be there.
Somebody will be there, okay.
Just got information with what booth we'll have as well. I can send that over to you.
Okay.
Are you going to be there?
Yes, sir,
We'll
we'll
have a
go over.
booth.
We'd like to go visit the booth and maybe take a look at it as far as the software, so we could go through it quickly.
Awesome.
Yep.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a good rest of your night.
Thank you, Ms. Tyler.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good one. Bye.
But something like this program also can help us, can help Lauren on the retail stuff, like the land.
So it'll help to make a more educated
Like more open?
decision as to what's gonna work, what's not gonna work.
Oh, okay.
If,
Which
Is it because of the locations that we're looking at? Or?
well, it's information that's needed and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you still may, given a golden opportunity, but it gives you a guide.
right,
It's not just saying that we, when someone, we get proposed something good and then they say, they're gonna give us some details and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that we don't have,
right.
but we'll be prepared with it.
So let's say, for instance, downtown revitalization, there's some shops that we're looking into bringing over to this area. So let's say In and Out. They'll take the data of people from San Juan that visited In and Out in, what is it, San Marcos or New
San Marcos, New Braunfels.
So what they're saying is it gonna work here in San Juan based on the visit that we made over to the restaurant, that we don't have it. So they'll run those analytics and they'll see it. Is there another one close by? There's none close by. But there's a lot of people that visit in and out from far, McAllen, Alamo, Edinburgh, whatever. And if it's here, obviously people are gonna come over and spend money here, having to do with in and out. So it'll give us all of the data, all of those analytics, everything will be there.
Yeah,
The
because
one-
I've been there, and it's kind of cheap too.
In and
It's
out?
good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
You know, not much, but I think it's kind of expensive, and they're too small.
That's a
The
quantity,
one
how
burger,
many,
yeah.
Neto sold on
how many you gonna eat of those, because they're
So
small.
maybe what we can do is run our numbers on Wendy's and see if it'll work.
You're right. The chili cheese.
Yeah, that place is expensive.
Chili cheese,
You know,
yeah.
but I think meeting with them in Vegas or whatever, we can
Yeah.
get a real look at it.
And I saw it over at the, who was with me? Was it you or somebody else? I saw it over in Dallas, and I kind of like.
I visited one
See?
for a good hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a good program, huh?
I think it's a good presentation. It's not as expensive as the one that we had before.
This one seems more thorough though.
I like the online support, man.
Okay,
Alrighty. Okay, guys, so moving on.
moving on. Mr. Juan.
So on the presentation, so we have the Dutch Brothers Ribbon Cutting on Thursday, April the 4th, 10:30 a.m. They're open for business. If you guys haven't checked them out, go check them out. I'm personally not a big fan of sugar coffee, but it's good. People say that it's delicious, so it's going to be there. So 10:30, those of you that can join us, please join us. Also, I wanted to place the ACSC there again, just so that I get a head count as to who's going again, because I know that we've been going back and forth. We got some of the airline, but not all of them. We have the hotels already, the rooms, but not all of them. Just want to make sure that I get it right. So, Mr. Flores, it's two of you, right?
Correct.
Mr. Guajardo?
Two.
Mr. Villegas, two people? You and your wife?
Correct.
Ms. Santillan, one? Mr., no, or just one or maybe? Mr. Garza, one? Just you? And I know that Mr. Sanchez is not gonna make it. Maybe, he said he was not gonna be able to make it. So we're looking at maybe flying out on a Sunday in the morning so we can be there by 4:30. And then there's a reception at about más o menos 7:30. 80s, but we'll give you all of that. Urban County, again, April 11th to the 13th. South Padre, I wanted to put it back in there so we can get a good count. I know that Martha has it, I don't know if she's coming back. So, Mr. Flores?
I'm out.
No, Mr. Guajardo?
Which one is that one?
Urban County?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna stay with them, I'm gonna drive him back and forth.
Back and forth?
Yeah.
Is it you or?
No,
You'll be
me,
driving
no.
back and forth. Okay. Mr. Villegas?
Urban, yeah, that one, yes,
Urban?
Yes.
Two people?
correct.
Ms. Santillan, one or two?
One.
One. Mr., yes?
Yes.
One or two?
Two.
Yes, he ran two.
I won't be,
Not yet?
no, I won't be
Okay.
taking my son to college.
Oh, that's right, you said that. Congratulations, sir. And I just need to check on Mr. Sanchez. Okay,
That one's April, that's Urban.
there's our, and then the other one is a TML, which is like a week later, I think? No, a month later. Mr.
Over there, by myself.
RC1. Mr. Guajardo?
Which one's that?
This is a TML 13.
Right before it's ICSC.
Right before we leave?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Same as last year.
Yeah, I think.
Get back to you.
Yeah,
See? So you're gonna stay, or you're gonna be going back?
no, I think we're gonna stay on that one.
So, Guajardo.
Yeah, because that's only 2 days, right?
It's a day and a half.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
Ms. Santillan? I mean, Mr.
Yes.
Villegas?
No, I won't.
Yes, yes.
Santillan, yes.
Is it a full day Thursday or half day Thursday?
I think it's full day Thursday, half a day on Friday. What did you say?
Oh, they said.
Isn't it half day Thursday,
May
all day
16th and
Friday?
17th.
That's what it was.
It's
I
usually
think-
half a day.
I think it's half day Thursday, all day Friday, or like till mid-afternoon Friday.
Okay, I'll find out. I don't know if it's a
You
day.
can-
Or is it till
You
Saturday?
can let me know. I'll let you know.
Mr. Garcia?
Yes.
Yes. 2 or 1?
One.
1. Okay. All righty. And then moving on the market day, it'll be April the 20th. Yes, April the 20th. I was getting confused with the May. April the 20th here in the parking area between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have gotten a lot of calls, people that they're coming over to participate, food vendors, and they sell all sorts of things. But there's going to be, I think we're going to have more than enough on this first market day here in San Juan. And then the last one is.
That's gonna be here, right, right in
It'll be here in
front?
the parking area
Okay.
on the west side. The last one is, spoke to several potential developers. I'll discuss this in executive session. It looks very promising, but we'll see. Any questions?
Okay. No questions? Next item?
Next item is in executive session, on the
Discussion.
valorization, we don't have anything, sir.
We don't have any action on it.
No.
You ready for executive? At this time, we'll be going into executive at 6:34 PM.
So move.
Is there a motion? We got a motion, we got a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. 6:34 PM. We are now back from executive session at 6:44. We are now back from executive session at 6:44 PM. Is there a motion?
Motion to
Second.
reconvene.
We got a motion and a second to reconvene. We're all good with the executive session, correct? No
Yes,
action
so there's no
taken?
action to be taken.
After discussions, is there a motion to adjourn?
If I could, just before, so Thursday, we have the Spring Wine Fest, which.
This Thursday?
This Thursday, which we sponsored, and I'd just like to invite everybody to join us. I think it's, I wish I could remember exactly, it's 8 or 10 seats, but
be there.
definitely enough for the entire board. And if not, come see me, I'll be there, and I'll make sure that the entire board, and obviously Ben, yourself, I really would like for us to attend. Last year, the table was empty except for Arturo Hardo showed up. But I think it's a really good opportunity for you all to see not only how many people are supporting our community, but that they can see that we're also vested and invested in our community. And we're also going to have a short presentation this year on the new Boys and Girls Club that we'll be building in San Juan, which I'm really excited about, because it's going to be a different type of Boys and Girls Club, in that it's going to be more of a job center, and it's going to be for the older kids only, for kids 15 to 18, and they're going to be learning interview skills, how to write a resume. There's going to be like a closet, I call it the closet, but where they can find, a tie, coat, a nice, a dress, so that, we're preparing our kids for not only the job market, but, if they're going to college, it's the same process, right? Interview, resume, being presentable. I'm really excited about that, because it's going to be one of a kind, and I'm glad it's going to be in our city.
And I'll say this without their permission, but if you ever need any assistance from us here at City, by all means, we're here to help you out as well.
Yes.
Like if they want to do some mock interviews, we can do the interviews.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah.
If they want to do some hours of work, such as IT or
Sure.
planning or finance, whatever money,
No?
yeah, they're more than welcome.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that, thank you so much. And at the end of the day, it's, it's one of the constant themes that we would say, it's about the kids. It's about the kids, it's always been about the kids, it's always gonna be about the kids. And, one of the things that I always say is like, why didn't we have any of this when I was growing up? But I'm glad we have it now, because now we know, being on this end of it, now we know the benefit of it. And they need all the chances they can get, and all the advantages they can get, because it's tough out there.
And this office as well is available.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good deal.
Motion to adjourn?
We got a motion, we got a second, to adjourn. We're now adjourned at 6:47 PM.